The Xylorian medical ship hovered silently above Kate's small town, cloaked from human detection systems. Nira stood beside Kate as the healing chamber completed its final cycle. The advanced technology had removed the tumor from Kate's brain and restored her to full health, but that was only the beginning of their journey together. Kate opened her eyes and sat up slowly, looking at her hands with wonder. "I feel different, stronger somehow," she said. Her voice sounded clearer than before, more confident. "The healing process enhances certain aspects of human physiology," explained the Chief Medical Officer Valra, her translator converting the clicks and whistles of Xylorian speech to English. "It is a side effect of the cellular regeneration." Kate stood testing her balance. The weakness that had plagued her for months was gone, replaced by a vitality she hadn't felt in years. She turned to Nira with a smile that lit up her entire face. "Thank you for saving me. It was not just for you," Nira admitted. "The mark you bear changes everything for my people, and potentially for the entire galaxy." Kate touched the unusual scar on her chest, the mark of the convergence, as Nira had called it. She still didn't fully understand its significance, only that it matched an ancient Xylorian prophecy. "So what happens now?" Commander Ezric of the Xylorian fleet approached, his tall, slender form towering over both of them. "Now we must present you to the High Council. They have been awaiting the marked one for generations." Kate looked to Nira, uncertainty in her eyes. "I can't just disappear. My sister Amy would worry, and I have a job. People who would notice if I suddenly vanished." Nira placed a reassuring hand on Kate's shoulder. "We can arrange a temporal suspension field for your town. It will appear as though only minutes have passed while we are gone, no matter how long our journey takes." Kate considered this. "Are you asking me to leave Earth? Not permanently," Nira said. "Unless you wish it. The prophecy speaks of the marked one traveling among the stars, bringing unity where there is conflict. We need you, Kate. The galaxy needs you." Kate took a deep breath, looking around the alien medical bay with its pulsing lights and strange equipment. She thought of her quiet life on Earth, the emptiness she had felt before her illness, the sense that she was meant for something more, something she could never quite name until now. "I need to leave a note for Amy," she decided, "just in case." The commander's eyes narrowed. Such communication could be dangerous if discovered by other humans. Kate stood her ground, her newfound strength evident in her posture. "My sister deserves to know I'm safe. I won't tell her everything just enough, so she won't worry." Nira intervened before the commander could object. "The prophecy states that the marked one will build bridges between worlds, Commander. Perhaps this is the first of many." Ezric relented, and arrangements were made for Kate to return briefly to her home. Under the cover of night, Kate packed a small bag and wrote a letter to her sister explaining that she had been offered an experimental treatment for her condition and would be away for some time. She left out the parts about alien spaceships and galactic prophecies, knowing such information would only cause confusion and disbelief as dawn approached. Kate stood in her garden with Nira, looking up at the stars one last time as an ordinary human woman. "I never thought I'd leave Earth," she whispered. "Few humans have," Nira replied. "The ones who have were taken for study, not as equals." Kate turned to her alien friend. "Is that what I am?" "An equal more than that," Nira said. "The prophecy suggests you may be the most important being in the galaxy, though my people are still trying to understand why." A soft humming sound filled the air as the transport beam activated. Kate felt a tingling sensation as her molecules were disassembled and reassembled aboard the main Xylorian vessel. In an instant, her view of her garden was replaced by the vast command center of an alien spaceship. The Xylorian High Council had assembled to meet her 7 tall figures with iridescent skin in various shades of blue and green. Their large eyes studied her with intensity, their 6 limbs moving in precise, graceful motions that seemed almost choreographed. Kate felt suddenly very human and very small among them. The leader stepped forward. "Welcome, Marked One. I am High Counselor Telna. We have waited millennia for your arrival." Kate straightened her spine, determined not to show fear. My name is Kate, she said. I still don't understand why. I'm so important to you. Telna gestured toward a large viewing screen which flickered to life, showing a star map of incredible detail and complexity. For 10,000 years our people have been locked in a devastating conflict with the Dravari Empire, a war that has consumed countless worlds and civilizations. The prophecy tells that the Marked One will end this conflict and usher in an age of peace. The star map zoomed in on a region of space where red and blue territories met in jagged, hostile borders. But I'm just a regular person, Kate protested. I don't know anything about galactic politics or warfare. How am I supposed to bring peace? The counselor moved closer, studying Kate's face. The prophecy does not specify how, only that you will. The mark you bear is sacred to both Zalorians and Dravari. It appears in the oldest texts of both our civilizations. Kate felt the weight of expectation pressing down on her. It was one thing to be cured of a terminal illness, quite another to be told she was responsible for ending an ancient galactic war. I don't know if I can be what you need me to be. Nira stepped to Kate's side. We do not expect you to have all the answers now. The journey is just beginning, High Counselor. Telna nodded. The first step is to prepare you. Knowledge is required. The Marked One must understand the conflict before resolving it. You will be given access to our historical archives and trained in our language and customs. Kate took a deep breath, overwhelmed but determined. If this is real, if I really am this Marked One, then I want to help. I just need time to adjust to all this. As she spoke, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared throughout the command center. Commander Ezric rushed to a control panel. Dravari warships approaching fast, he reported. They must have detected our presence in this sector. Telna turned to Nira and Kate. Get her to safety. The Marked One must be protected at all costs. Nira grabbed Kate's hand, pulling her toward an exit as the command center erupted into activity. Come with me, she urged. We must reach the escape pods. Kate ran alongside Nira through the corridors of the alien ship as it rocked with impacts. What about the others, she asked breathlessly. The crew is trained for combat, Nira explained as they ran. You are the priority. They reached a small chamber with several pod-like structures. Nira quickly activated one, and the door slid open. This will take us to a nearby outpost, she explained, guiding Kate inside. If the ship is compromised, another explosion larger than before sent them both tumbling into the pod. The door sealed automatically and detachment sequences initiated. Kate felt the pod break free from the main ship, hurtling into space through a small viewing port. Kate watched in horror as the Zalorian vessel took heavy fire from 3 angular black ships. The Dravari, she whispered. Nira nodded grimly. Our ancient enemy, and now yours as well. The escape pod tumbled through space with Kate and Nira strapped securely inside. Through the small viewport they watched as the Zalorian ship engaged its defense systems, returning fire against the Dravari attackers. Brilliant flashes of energy illuminated the darkness of space. This wasn't supposed to happen. Nira said, her voice tight with concern. The Dravari shouldn't have known we were here. Someone must have informed them about me, Kate asked, gripping the edge of her seat as the pod shuddered. Possibly, Nira admitted. The prophecy is known to both species. The Dravari interpretation differs from ours. They believe the Marked One will lead them to victory, not bring peace. Kate felt cold dread settle in her stomach. So they want to capture me, or eliminate you, Nira said bluntly. The Dravari are not known for subtlety. The pod jolted violently as something struck it. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. Nira moved quickly, her 6 limbs working in perfect coordination as she tried to stabilize. Their flight path tractor beam, Nira explained grimly. The Dravari are pulling us in. Kate watched helplessly as a massive black ship loomed larger in their viewport. Its design was angular and predatory, with jagged protrusions and pulsing red lights, a stark contrast to the smooth organic curves of the Zalorian vessels. What do we do? Nira accessed a hidden compartment in the pod and removed 2 small devices. She handed one to Kate. Emergency translator, she explained. Place it behind your ear. It will allow you to understand the Dravari language. Kate did as instructed, feeling the small device adhere to her skin. What about the other one, self-destruct? Nira said matter-of-factly, we cannot allow you to be captured if the situation becomes hopeless. No, Kate interrupted, taking the device from Nira's hand. We're not going to die today. She examined the pod controls. What other options do we have? Nira hesitated before responding. The pod has limited defensive capabilities, but using them might provoke the Dravari to destroy us rather than capture us. Kate considered this. If they want me alive for the prophecy, then we have leverage. She pointed to a flashing button on the panel. What does this do? Emergency thrust, Nira explained. But it would only delay the inevitable. That's all we need. Kate said, her mind racing. Wait until we're almost in their docking bay, then hit the thrust. If we can create enough damage or confusion, we might find a way to escape. Nira looked at Kate with newfound respect. A risky strategy, but perhaps our only option. As the Dravari ship pulled them closer, Kate could make out details of its massive docking bay, hundreds of smaller vessels lined up in precise rows, and armed soldiers moving into position. Now Kate commanded Nira. Slammed her hand on the emergency thrust. The pod engines flared with sudden power, fighting against the tractor beam. The unexpected resistance caused the pod to spin wildly within the beam, creating a destabilizing effect. The Dravari operators struggled to compensate. The moment they entered the docking bay, Nira cut the engines completely. The pod dropped faster than expected, crashing into the deck with tremendous force. Kate felt the impact despite the pod's safety restraints. The collision damaged several Dravari vessels and sent soldiers scattering. Perfect, Kate said, unbuckling her restraints. The pod door still works, but we will be captured immediately. Nira protested. Not if we're not here, Kate replied, pointing to the damaged Dravari ships. The confusion is our chance, understanding dawned on Nira. She quickly accessed the pod's emergency supplies, grabbing a small device that resembled a flashlight. This will help, she said. It's a short-range stun weapon. Kate nodded. Taking the weapon, they won't expect us to leave the pod. They think we're trapped. Nira programmed the door to open on a timer. We will have seconds to reach cover, she warned. When the pod door slid open, Kate and Nira sprinted across the docking bay, diving behind a damaged Dravari shuttle just as soldiers surrounded the pod. Weapons ready, they entered the empty escape pod. They'll realize we're gone soon, Kate whispered. We need to keep moving. Nira pointed toward a service corridor. Maintenance access. Follow me. They moved silently through the corridor, Nira leading the way through the unfamiliar ship. The Dravari design philosophy extended throughout harsh angular shapes and red emergency lighting, creating an atmosphere of perpetual alert. An alarm blared suddenly, echoing through the corridors. They've discovered we're missing, Nira said. We need to find a communication station. Contact the Xylorian fleet. Kate followed Nira through a maze of passages, avoiding patrols of Dravari soldiers. The aliens were taller than humans, with 4 arms and gray-scaled skin. Their eyes glowed red in the dim lighting, giving them a fearsome appearance. Nira stopped, suddenly pressing Kate against a wall as a group of soldiers marched past. When they had gone, she pointed to a door-ahead communication hub, she whispered. The symbols indicate restricted access. Can you get us in? Kate asked. Nira examined the locking mechanism. Its biometric requires Dravari DNA. Kate peered around the corner, spotting a lone Dravari technician. Approaching. I have an idea, she whispered. Wait here. Before Nira could stop her, Kate stepped into the hallway directly in front of the startled technician. She raised the stun weapon, firing before the Dravari could react. The alien crumpled to the floor unconscious. Help me, Kate said, dragging the technician toward the door. Nira looked impressed by Kate's quick thinking and decisive action. Together, they positioned the unconscious alien's hand against the scanner. The door slid open. Inside, the communication hub screens displayed tactical information and ship positions. Kate guarded the door while Nira accessed the communication systems. I can send a coded message to the Xylorian fleet. But it will take time. How much time? Kate asked nervously. 3 Minutes, Nira replied, her fingers flying across the alien interface. Kate checked the corridor. We might not have 3 minutes, as if on cue, heavy footsteps approached guards. Kate warned. Nira worked frantically. I need more time. Kate made a quick decision. Lock the door. I'll buy you time. Nira looked up alarmed. How? Kate pointed to the environmental controls. I saw these on the escape pod. They control atmosphere and temperature. Right? Nira nodded. Kate adjusted several settings, causing alarms to blare throughout. The section emergency protocols should lock down this section temporarily. The footsteps outside stopped, replaced by confused voices and the sound of running, as the Dravari responded to the new emergency. Smart, Nira said with admiration, continuing her work on the communication system. Kate watched the door anxiously. How close are you? Almost done. Nira replied. Message is encrypting now. If the fleet receives this, they can track our position. A heavy thud hit the door, followed by another. The Dravari were trying to break through. Hurry, Kate urged. Message sent, Nira announced. But we need to move. The Dravari will override the lockdown. Soon, Kate looked around the room. Is there another way out? Nira pointed to a maintenance hatch. This should connect to the ventilation system. They climbed into the narrow passage just as the door to the communication hub burst open. Angry voices filled the room as they crawled away through the ship's infrastructure. The ventilation system was a tight fit for Kate, but Nira moved with surprising agility despite her 6 limbs. Where are we going? Kate whispered. Escape pods, Nira replied. We need to get off this ship before they find us. They emerged in a quiet corridor. Several doors lined the wall, each marked with Dravari symbols. Nira pointed to one. These are officer quarters. Less security than the main pod. Kate nodded, understanding the plan. Steal a private shuttle. Before they could move, a voice spoke from behind them. Impressive for a human and a Xylorian. Spy. They turned to find a tall Dravari officer blocking their path. His forearms held different weapons, all pointed at them. His red eyes gleamed with triumph. The marked one, he said, looking at Kate. You have caused quite the commotion. But your journey ends here. Kate raised her stun weapon, but the Dravari officer laughed. That won't work on me. He tapped his chest armor, designed to absorb energy. Weapons, Nira stepped in front of Kate protectively. You know the prophecy. Commander Trell. You know she must not be harmed. The Dravari tilted his head. How do you know my name? We know many things. Nira bluffed. Including that your superiors want. The marked one alive, Commander. Trell smiled, revealing sharp teeth. She will be alive, just not free. And you won't be alive at all. Xylorian, as he raised his weapon. A blinding flash filled the corridor. A deafening explosion followed, throwing all 3 of them to the floor. When Kate could see again, she found the corridor filled with smoke and debris. A hole had been blasted in the exterior wall, emergency force fields activating to prevent decompression. Standing in the newly created entrance were 3 armored figures. The center one stepped forward, removing her helmet to reveal a human face framed by short red hair. Need a rescue? Asked the woman with a grin. My name's Lily, welcome to the Resistance. Kate stared in shock at the human woman standing before them. Lily gestured urgently. We need to move now. The breach will attract more. Dravari. Nira helped Kate to her feet while keeping a wary eye on the newcomers. Who are you? She demanded. How is there another human here? No time for explanations, Lily replied. Check the commander. One of Lily's companions was already examining the unconscious Dravari officer. Stunned but alive, he reported. His voice sounding mechanical through his helmet. Good. Lily said, grab his command badge, we'll need it. She turned to Kate and Nira. Follow us unless you'd prefer to stay and explain yourselves to the Dravari fleet. Kate exchanged a quick glance with Nira. They had little choice. Nira nodded slightly and they followed Lily and her team through the breach and into what appeared to be a docking tube connecting to another ship. Once aboard the strange vessel, the door sealed behind them. Lily removed her tactical gear, revealing a sleek uniform unlike anything Kate had seen before. Welcoming blue lights replaced the harsh red of the Dravari ship. "Now we can talk," Lily said. "We're safe for the moment. The Drava's stealth systems will mask us from their sensors." Kate looked around the ship, noticing it was neither Xylorian nor Dravari in design. The curves were smooth, but the technology looked different, more compact and somehow more advanced. "How do you know who I am?" Kate asked. Lily smiled. "The mark on your chest. The prophecy isn't exactly a secret. In this part of the galaxy, we're part of the coalition and alliance of species working against both the Xylorian and Dravari empires." Nira bristled defensively. "The Xylorian Federation is peaceful. We seek only to protect the galaxy from Dravari aggression." Lily gave Nira a skeptical look. "Is that what they told you?" She turned to Kate. "The Xylorians may have saved your life, but they have their own agenda for the Marked One. Just like the Dravari." Kate felt a headache forming trying to process this new information. "So you're saying both sides are manipulating me?" "Not exactly," Lily clarified. "Both empires believe in the prophecy but interpret it to serve their own interests. The Xylorians believe you'll bring peace by helping them defeat the Dravari. The Dravari believe the opposite. The prophecy itself is neutral. It simply states that the Marked One will end the conflict." "And what do you believe?" Kate asked, studying the woman carefully. "The coalition believes the prophecy means something else entirely." Lily explained. "We think it means you'll help end both empires' dominance, allowing the free worlds to determine their own fate." The ship trembled slightly as it moved away from the Dravari vessel. Lily's pilot called from the cockpit. "We've broken contact. Moving to light speed. Where are you taking us?" Nira demanded. "Somewhere safe," Lily promised. Away from both Xylorians and Dravari. Kate placed a calming hand on Nira's arm. "I want to hear them out," she said quietly. "Then we can decide what to do." Nira looked unhappy but nodded. Lily led them to a small meeting room with a circular table. The walls displayed star maps and data feeds. "There's something you should know about your new Xylorian friends," she said. Activating a display, images appeared showing Xylorian ships firing on what appeared to be civilian settlements. "This is from the Altair system last year," she explained. "The official Xylorian record claims it was a military target, but these were refugees fleeing the conflict zone." Nira shook her head. "These are fabrications." "Are they?" Lily countered. One of Lily's companions removed his helmet, revealing himself to be a Xylorian with distinctive blue skin. "I am Krell, former commander in the Xylorian fleet. I witnessed these attacks personally." Nira stared in disbelief. "Commander Krell was reported dead in battle." "I defected," Krell explained, "after seeing what our government was willing to do in the name of victory. They told us we were protecting civilians, but we were clearing inhabited systems, creating buffer zones regardless of the cost in lives." Kate watched the exchange carefully, unsure who to trust. "What about the Dravari?" she asked. "Are they as bad as the Xylorians claim?" "Worse in some ways." Lily admitted, pulling up new images of devastated worlds. "The Dravari make no pretense about their methods. They believe conquest is their right. But the Xylorians' hypocrisy makes them dangerous in different ways. They believe they are righteous, even as they commit atrocities." Kate turned to Nira. "Did you know about this?" Nira looked troubled. I was told we only engaged military targets, that civilian casualties were minimal and unavoidable." The third member of Lily's team spoke up, his voice surprisingly gentle for his massive frame. "Dorn, from Keldar, a world that was neutral until the Xylorians decided it was strategically necessary. 7 million of my people died when they bombarded our major cities to force our surrender." Kate felt sick. This wasn't what she had signed up for. When Nira had told her about the prophecy, she had imagined herself as a peacemaker, a diplomat, not a pawn in a galactic war. "How many worlds are involved in this conflict?" she asked. Lily pulled up a larger star map. "Hundreds directly, thousands indirectly. The war has raged for generations, with periods of uneasy truce followed by renewed hostilities. Both empires control vast territories, And the coalition? Kate asked. We're smaller, Lily admitted, but growing. Many worlds have joined us seeking protection. From both empires, we offer technology defensive capabilities and alliance without demanding submission. She looked directly at Kate. The prophecy speaks of choice, not victory for either side, but a new path. Kate paced the room trying to process everything. What exactly does this prophecy say? Word for word, Lily exchanged looks with her companions. Krell the Xylorian nodded and recited, "In the time of greatest darkness, when stars themselves are consumed by war, one will come bearing the mark of ancient days, neither of the warring houses yet linked to both. Through this one the cycle breaks and choice returns to all who dwell among stars." Nira looked surprised. "You know the original text? I was a scholar before I was a soldier," Krell replied. The Xylorian. "High Command has edited the prophecy in official records." Removing the part about neither house, Kate touched the mark on her chest, feeling its raised pattern beneath her shirt. "So both sides want to use me to win the war, but the actual prophecy suggests I should help neither of them." "Exactly," Lily said, "but there is more to it. The mark you bear isn't just a symbol. It's a key. A key to what?" Kate asked. "A weapon according to some," Krell explained. "A peace accord to others. The texts are unclear, but it opens something ancient and powerful. Hidden long ago when the Xylorians and Dravari were still one species. They were once the same." Kate asked in surprise. Dorn nodded. "Over 15,000 years ago, they split in a great civil war that never truly ended. The marked one is said to be connected to their common ancestry." The ship shuddered, suddenly alarms blaring throughout. Lily's communicator activated, a voice speaking urgently. "Captain Xylorian cruiser on intercept course. They must have tracked the Dravari commander's badge." Lily cursed. "Clever, we need to move." She turned to Kate and Nira. "Follow me to the escape shuttle." "We'll have to split up." Kate hesitated. "Why should we trust you?" Lily looked her directly in the eyes because unlike the Xylorians and Dravari, I'm giving you a choice. Come with us or stay and wait for the Xylorians to recapture you. I'm not forcing you either way." Kate looked at Nira. "What do you think?" Nira seemed conflicted. I don't know who to believe anymore. "But the Xylorians did save your life," True Kate acknowledged. "But they also lied about the war." She turned back to Lily. "Where would your shuttle take us? To Haven, our main base." Lily explained it's well hidden and protected. Both empires have been searching for it for years without success. Another alarm sounded more urgent than before. The ship rocked violently as something struck it. "They've opened fire." Lily's communicator blared. "We're losing shields. We need to decide now." Lily urged. Kate took a deep breath. "If I'm really this marked one, then I need to understand everything about this conflict. Not just one side's version. If I go with the Xylorians, they'll only hear what they want me to hear." She looked at Nira. "I'm sorry, but I need to learn more." Nira hesitated, then nodded. "Surprisingly, I will come with you. I too have questions that need answering." Lily looked relieved. "This way," she said, leading them through a corridor as the ship continued to shake under enemy fire. They reached a small hangar bay where a sleek shuttle waited. "The rest of my crew will create a diversion while we launch." As they boarded the shuttle, Kate noticed weapon systems powering up throughout the larger ship. "We're not going to fight, are we?" she asked, alarmed. "Just enough to cover our escape." Lily assured her, "Take your seats." The shuttle engines hummed to life as the bay doors opened, revealing the vastness of space. A Xylorian cruiser loomed in the distance, its weapons firing at Lily's ship. Kate watched through the viewport. As they pulled away, the coalition ship returned fire, targeting the Xylorian vessel's engines rather than weapon systems. Disabling, not destroying. Perhaps sensing her thoughts, Lily explained, "We try not to kill when avoidable. Every death feeds the cycle of revenge." The shuttle accelerated rapidly, stars blurring around them as they entered lightspeed. Kate felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. "What happens when we reach Haven?" she asked. "You meet the Coalition Council," Lily said, "and learn the full truth about the mark you bear. The part of the prophecy both empires have kept hidden. What part? Nira asked. Leaning forward, Lily looked grim. The prophecy doesn't just say, "The marked one will end the conflict." It says the marked one will face a choice that will either save the galaxy or destroy it entirely, and that choice is coming soon. The journey to Haven took 3 days. During that time, Kate learned more about the conflict that had consumed the galaxy. She spent hours studying historical records and speaking with Lily, Krell, and Dorn. Each had their own perspective on the war, and each had lost something precious to it. Nira remained quiet for much of the journey, clearly troubled by the revelations about her people. On the second day, Kate found her alone in the observation deck, staring out at the streaking stars of hyperspace. "Are you okay?" Kate asked. Joining her at the viewport, Nira turned her large eyes reflecting the starlight. "I am processing. It is difficult to learn that everything you believed about your people may be built on deception." Kate nodded. "Understanding. I know, the feeling. One day I'm dying of a brain tumor, the next, am some prophesied figure in a galactic war. It's a lot to take in." They stood in silence for a moment before Nira spoke again. "I want you to know that I did not know about the civilian casualties, or the altered prophecy. My mission was to observe humans and report back. I was told it was for peaceful contact preparation." Kate believed her. The alien had risked her life to protect her when the Dravari attacked. "I trust you, Nira," she said. "I'm glad you're here with me." As they approached Haven, the shuttle dropped out of hyperspace, revealing a massive asteroid field surrounding a blue giant star. Lily took manual control, navigating through the spinning rocks with practiced ease. "This is our defense system," she explained, natural and nearly impossible to map. "It changes constantly." Kate watched in amazement as they wove through the field. The asteroids seemed to move in patterns, shifting to allow them passage but closing behind them. "They're controlled," Nira observed. Lily nodded. "Smart nanite swarms monitor and adjust the field. They recognize coalition ships and create safe passages. Anyone else gets crushed." They emerged from the asteroid field facing what appeared to be a barren moon, orbiting a gas giant. But as they approached, Kate realized the moon was artificial, or at least heavily modified. Its surface was covered with structures seamlessly integrated into the natural terrain. "Welcome to Haven," Lily announced as they descended toward a landing pad carved into the side of a mountain. The shuttle touched down and the doors opened, revealing a bustling settlement. Unlike the uniform designs of Xylorian architecture or the harsh angularity of Dravari construction, Haven was a blend of countless styles. 100 different species moved through the streets, some humanoid, others wildly alien. Kate stepped out of the shuttle, feeling the artificial gravity adjust to Earth. Normal, a thoughtful touch. She noted. "The Coalition Council is waiting," Lily said, leading them toward a large structure at the center of the settlement. It resembled a massive tree with buildings integrated into its trunk and branches. As they walked, Kate noticed many people stopping to stare. Some even bowed, or made strange gestures when they saw her. "Word of the marked one has spread," Lily explained. "The prophecy gives hope to many who have lost everything to this war." Inside the great tree building, they entered a circular chamber where 9 beings sat, in a semicircle. Each appeared to be from a different species. Some looked almost human, while others were utterly alien in form. The central figure stood as they entered, a tall being with pale translucent skin and 4 arms. "Welcome, Marked One. I am Senra, chairperson of the Coalition Council." Kate stepped forward, suddenly very aware of her simple human appearance among these advanced beings. "My name is Kate," she said. "I still don't fully understand why I'm here or what you're expecting from me." Senra gestured to an empty seat. "Please join us. There is much to discuss." As Kate sat, the council members studied her with varying expressions of curiosity, hope, and skepticism. Senra spoke again. "You bear the mark of the Convergence, a symbol that predates both the Xylorian and Dravari empires. It appears in the oldest ruins across the galaxy, always associated with a great change." One of the other council members leaned forward. Her features were bird-like with feathers instead of hair. You wish to know. Why you? The truth is we do not know. The prophecy speaks only of one who will bear the mark, not why they were chosen. Kate touched her chest, where the mark lay beneath her clothes. So what am I supposed to do? Senra waved a hand, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber, showing a strange structure floating in space. It resembled a massive ring, with intricate patterns carved into its surface. The Nexus, she explained, built by the ancestors, before the great schism that created the Zilorians and Drivari. It has remained dormant for millennia, but recent energy readings suggest it is awakening. What does it do? Kate asked, studying the massive structure. We believe it is a weapon, Krell said, stepping forward, one capable of destroying entire star systems, but it could also be a tool for creating something new. The texts are unclear, and my mark Kate pressed is connected to this. Nexus Senra nodded. According to the ancient texts, only one bearing the mark can activate the Nexus. Both empires know this, which is why they both seek to control you. Kate felt the weight of this revelation pressing down on her. So I could either save everyone or destroy everything. No pressure, she added with nervous laughter. Another council member spoke, this one with multiple eyes and green-scaled skin. The prophecy speaks of choice, your choice, and of breaking cycles. Both empires believe victory is the only path forward. But perhaps there is another way. What other way? Kate asked. That is for you to discover, Senra said. The mark chose you for a reason. Your perspective as a human, as someone outside our ancient conflicts, may be what is needed. Before Kate could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. A voice spoke over an intercom. Emergency. Council session. Zilorian and Drivari fleets have entered the outer system. Both are heading toward Haven. Impossible, Lily exclaimed. The location of Haven is our most guarded secret. Senra stood urgently. We must prepare defenses. Evacuate the civilians. They tracked us, Kate realized, looking at Nira with sudden suspicion. Nira shook her head. I sent no messages, I swear it. One of the council members, a small being with metallic skin, approached Kate, scanning her with a handheld device. There, she said, pointing to Kate's shoulder. Where the Zilorian doctors treated you. Kate reached up, feeling nothing. What is it? A quantum tracer. Nira explained, looking horrified. Standard medical procedure for important patients. I should have known. She looked genuinely distressed. I did not know, Kate, I promise you. I believe you, Kate said. The Zilorians used me as bait, and now both empires are here, Lily said grimly. They must have been monitoring the tracer, waiting until it led them to Haven. Senra turned to Kate. We must get you to safety. The Nexus coordinates are already programmed into our fastest ship. No, Kate said firmly. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of being used by everyone. I need to face this. But if either side captures you, Lily protested. Kate stood straighter. Then I'll make sure they don't capture me. If this mark means I have a choice, then I'm making one now. I'm not going to let Haven be destroyed because of me. Senra studied her for a moment before nodding. What do you propose? Kate looked around the chamber. At the assembled council, I need to speak to both fleets. At the same time, impossible, one council member protested. They would never agree. They will if I tell them I'm ready to activate the Nexus. Kate said, both sides want that, but only on their terms. What if I offer a third option? A risky gambit, Senra observed, but possibly our only chance. She turned to an aide. Prepare a communication channel to both fleets. Within minutes, the chamber was transformed. A large communication array descended from the ceiling, projecting two massive holograms. On one side stood the Zilorian High Commander, his 6 limbs held in a formal posture. On the other, the Drivari Supreme General, 4 arms crossed over his armored chest. This is an unexpected pleasure, said the Zilorian commander, his translator giving his clicks and whistles an artificial smoothness. The Marked One and the so-called coalition leadership all in one place. The Drivari general laughed a harsh grating sound. Both our fleets stand ready. To reduce this hidden base to ash, unless of course the Marked One surrenders to us, corrected the Xylorian. You know, the prophecy speaks of our victory. General Kate stepped forward, silencing both of them. My name is Kate, she said firmly. Not the Marked One. Just Kate. I was a normal human woman dying of a brain tumor until I got pulled into your ancient conflict. Both leaders seemed taken aback by her directness. I know about the Nexus, Kate continued. I know you both believe controlling. It will win you the war. And I know the mark I bear, she touched her chest, is the key to activating it. The Xylorian commander leaned forward. So you understand your importance. You must choose wisely. The Xylorian Federation has protected countless worlds from Dravari aggression lies, hissed the Dravari. The Xylorians would enslave all free peoples under their so-called benevolent rule. We fight for true freedom. Kate raised her hand, stopping them both. I've seen the records of what both your empires have done. Civilian casualties, destroyed worlds, millions dead on both sides. She shook her head. This has to end. The Dravari general narrowed his glowing red eyes. Then surrender and activate the Nexus for the right side. And which side is that, Kate? Asked. Both of you believe you're right. Both of you believe the other is wrong, but from where I stand, you're both willing to sacrifice innocent lives for power. I propose a third option. Kate continued. I will go to the Nexus. But I will decide what happens there without either of your empires controlling me. The Xylorian commander shook his head. Unacceptable. The Marked One must be protected. The coalition ship Horizon cut through space at maximum speed. Kate stood on the bridge watching the stars streak by. Beside her, Nira remained a constant presence, loyal despite everything that had happened. Behind them, representatives from the Xylorian Federation, Dravari Empire, and Coalition maintained an uneasy truce. After Kate's ultimatum, both empire leaders had reluctantly agreed to her terms. Each sent a single representative to accompany her to the Nexus, while their fleets maintained position around Haven. Any aggressive move would violate the agreement. I still think this is too dangerous, Lily said, joining Kate at the viewport. Both empires could be planning to seize control the moment we reach the Nexus. Kate nodded. I know. But what choice do we have? If I refused, both fleets would have attacked Haven. The Xylorian representative approached a tall, dignified female named Vestra. She had been introduced as a senior diplomat, but Kate suspected she was much more. You should prepare yourself, she said. The Nexus has been dormant for millennia. We cannot predict what will happen when you attempt to activate it. The Dravari representative let out a dismissive sound from across the bridge. Commander Zalk had made no attempt to hide his distrust of everyone aboard the Nexus will recognize the Marked One. He said that much is certain in all versions of the prophecy. Kate had spent the journey studying everything the Coalition knew about the Nexus. Ancient texts described it as the heart of convergence, a place where paths meet and futures divide. The more she learned, the more she understood why both empires coveted it. We're approaching the coordinates, Lily's pilot announced. The ship dropped out of hyperspace, revealing an empty region of space. No planets, no stars, just darkness. There's nothing here, Kate said, confused. Wait, Krell advised. The Xylorian defector operated the sensor array. The Nexus exists partially out of phase with normal space. It should appear as if responding to his words. Reality seemed to bend before them, space itself folding to reveal a massive structure. The Nexus hung in the void, a colossal ring at least 10 kilometers in diameter. Intricate patterns covered its surface, glowing with blue energy. It's beautiful, Kate whispered. The images didn't do it justice. The ship moved closer, sensors scanning the ancient construct. There's an opening, Lily reported. A docking port of some kind. As they approached the ring, the patterns began to pulse more intensely. The mark on Kate's chest tingled, responding to the energy. A strange sensation, not painful but impossible to ignore, were being scanned. Krell announced, something on the Nexus is active. A beam of light shot from the ring enveloping the ship. The engines shut down automatically as they were pulled toward the docking port. Commander Zalk reached for his weapon, but Vestra stopped him. This is part of the activation sequence. She said the Nexus recognizes the mark. The ship was guided into a massive hangar that dwarfed their vessel. As the external doors closed behind them, artificial gravity and atmosphere engaged. Kate felt a subtle shift as the ship settled onto a docking platform. The main doors opened, revealing a vast chamber. Its walls were covered with the same glowing patterns as the exterior. A pathway led from the ship to a central platform where a pedestal stood. "This is it," Lily said, checking her weapon. Just as the ancient texts described. Kate took a deep breath and stepped off the ship. The others followed, maintaining their uneasy truce. As they walked down the pathway, the lights brightened, illuminating more of the massive chamber. Only the marked one may approach the pedestal. Vestra warned, "The texts are clear on this. For once I agree with the Zalorian." Zalk said, "The rest of us must remain here." Kate looked back at Nira, who gave her an encouraging nod. "I will be right here," she promised. The central platform rose slightly above the rest of the chamber. As Kate approached alone, the patterns on the floor began to glow brighter, responding to her presence. The mark on her chest felt warm now, almost alive. When she reached the pedestal, she saw it was covered with symbols matching her mark. A shallow depression in its center seemed designed for a hand. This is it, Kate thought. The moment of choice. She placed her hand on the pedestal. The response was immediate. Energy surged through her body, not painful, but overwhelming. Images flooded her mind. Worlds burning, ships fighting, stars dying. And beneath it all, two peoples once united, now locked in endless war. A voice spoke not aloud, but directly in her mind. "Welcome, Convergence vessel. What is your choice?" Kate struggled to form thoughts through the overwhelming connection. Who are you?" "I am Nexus, guardian of paths created before the sundering." When the choice was first made, what choice? Kate managed to ask. "What am I supposed to do?" The voice seemed to consider. "You bear the mark. The key to all possibilities. 3 paths lie before you choose one." Images formed in Kate's mind, more concrete now. She saw the Nexus transformed into a weapon of unimaginable power, capable of destroying entire fleets, even stars. This was the path the Empire sought. Domination through fear, then. She saw a second possibility. The Nexus as a shield, creating impenetrable barriers between worlds. Isolation, safety, but also stagnation. The third path was less clear. Transformation, connection. Something new. What happens if I choose none of them? Kate asked, thinking of a fourth option. "There must be choice," the voice replied. "That is the purpose of the convergence, to break cycles, to find new ways." Kate thought of Earth, of her simple life before all this, of her sister, Amy. She thought of Nira, who had saved her life and shown her the stars. She thought of Lily and the Coalition fighting for a different future. She thought of the billions of lives caught between two ancient enemies. The images of destruction replayed in her mind, world after world, suffering in an endless war that had continued for thousands of years. Would her choice simply perpetuate that cycle? No, Kate decided. She pulled her hand away from the pedestal. Behind her, she heard gasps of shock. "What are you doing?" the Dravari commander demanded. "You must activate it." Kate turned to face them all. "I am activating it," she said. "Just not how you expected." She looked at each of them in turn. The prophecy speaks of breaking cycles, not continuing them with a new weapon. She returned to the pedestal, but instead of placing her hand in the depression, she placed it on the symbols that matched her scar. "I choose a new path," she declared. "One that ends the cycle of destruction." The energy surged again, stronger this time. The entire chamber hummed with power. The mark on her chest now glowed brightly, visible through her clothing. Transformation accepted, the voice in her mind said. And so it begins. The pedestal shifted, reconfiguring itself. A holographic display appeared, showing the galaxy. Countless worlds connected by lines of light. "What is happening?" Vestra asked, her voice trembling. "The Nexus is changing," Kate explained. It was never meant to be a weapon. It was built as a connection, a way to bring worlds together, not tear them apart. The Dravri commander shook his head. Impossible. The ancient texts clearly state, the texts were written by those who wanted power. Kate interrupted. Both your empires interpreted the prophecy to suit your own desires, but the Nexus predates your division. It was built when you were still one people. As she spoke, the holographic display zoomed in, showing the immediate region of space. The Xylorian and Dravari fleets near Haven suddenly appeared as bright points of light communication. Protocols activated. The voice announced all vessels within range now connected. What does that mean? Lily asked. Kate understood suddenly. The Nexus is a communication hub, a way for all worlds, all ships, all peoples to speak directly to each other. No secrets. No propaganda. No isolation. The Nexus is establishing direct links between every ship in both fleets. She explained. Their crews can now communicate directly, without going through command structures. Zoc lunged forward. This is a trick, he shouted, reaching for Kate. But Nira moved faster, stepping between them. The Dravari commander froze when faced with Nira. No Xylorian tricks, the alien scientist said. Just truth. After all these years, maybe it's time we all heard the truth. The holographic display shifted again, showing images from both fleets. Ordinary crew members, soldiers, civilians, all now able to speak directly to their counterparts on enemy vessels. This cannot be allowed. Vestra protested. Communications must follow proper chains of command too. Late Kate said, the Nexus has activated as the prophecy foretold, but instead of destroying it is connecting. What happens next is up to all of you, not just your leaders. The energy throughout the chamber stabilized. The patterns on the walls now pulsed. With a steady rhythm, Kate felt the connection to the Nexus fade, but the mark on her chest remained warm. The voice spoke one last time. The convergence is complete. Guardian protocols transferred. The cycle is broken. New paths begin. Kate turned to the others. The Nexus was built by your common ancestors before the division that created Xylorians and Dravari. It was meant to keep you connected even as you grew and changed. But someone long ago tried to turn it into a weapon. That attempt locked it down until the mark appeared again. And now, Lily asked, now it belongs to everyone. Kate said, not just Xylorians, not just Dravari, everyone in the galaxy, the Coalition, the independent worlds, even Earth. The Nexus will allow direct communication between all peoples. No secrets, no propaganda. No way for leaders to control what their people know. Vestra and Zalk exchanged looks, both understanding the implications. This will cause chaos. Zalk warned, or peace. Kate countered. When people can speak directly to each other without governments filtering the truth, how long do you think they'll support this war?